The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Wednesday, the 21st day of February 2024. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. I'm Jamal Hartman. She's Sancha Dorman. Teo. I almost said Teo Palacio. Teo Dill will be with us in a bit to bring you the latest in the news break brought to you by People's Pharmacy. Sister Sancha, happy
Good
Wednesday.
morning. How are you?
I'm all right. I've had this light game I'm working on all week, so hopefully I'm light enough for people to see me today.
I need you to bring this light game over here. I like your backgrounds, like the colors and
Yeah, we got a little purple going on. We've got, I think that's like turquoise, and then we've got the white light. Yeah, it's a little something.
with your little Christmas decoration behind you.
Yeah, that's the wreath. That's so Christmas doesn't really end in this house, so yeah, it's year round, man. It's year round.
Listen, I love your dad's Christmas lights.
Yeah, he does a thing. It's going slight because I see one of the Christmas trees is done already, so I think it's going a little slight, But,
Yeah.
And so midweek, Sanch. I mean, you having a good week so far?
I am, I feel like my weeks are like chunks. So it's like, okay, I'm on to a new thing this week. We are getting ready for the little special person's birthday.
Wow.
So these parties that he has, they're like events that I plan.
Oh, well, I mean, that special person turns 8 this year, right?
8.
Wow.
Where has the time gone? 8.
Seems just yesterday.
I know. Whew.
It grows so fast.
Okay.
Sancha, you didn't get to go to the budget breakfast, did you?
I didn't, and I was really upset. I actually messaged Jamal, and I was just like, "Do you know somebody who knows somebody? Because the tickets are sold out, and
Yeah.
I really wanted to go."
We didn't know nobody that knew somebody, but it seems like we missed quite the show at the budget breakfast. You know what? So everyone was like trying to get a hold of this video with Mariko Thomas, entrepreneur, who's the chamber president, and I don't know if I'm the only audience. Let me know if I'm the only one. Maybe you all think I'm a troublemaker, right? I don't know if I'm the only one that did this, but I was like, nobody's got. So if you know anything, let's use the Grammys for instance, right? When somebody gets a Grammy and they start speaking, sometimes the camera will go on the person who they think is most jealous or thinks they should have won, right? My question is, why wasn't a camera on the premiere as Mariko Thomas was speaking? You feel me? Like, I want to know. So I asked someone, I said, well, what was the premier doing when Mariko was dropping all this knowledge, right? Someone says, oh, what he usually does in his phone, like he has better things to do. Now, this is what I was told. But I said that would be so typical. But am I the only one that's thinking, like, put the camera on him while these facts are being thrown out?
We don't think that far. We don't think that far. And I think that a lot of it is we're not running it as a production, and that's kind of the idea of a production, which is why when we did the cop match series, it went so well because it was a production. We didn't just set up cameras and say, there you go, right?
She's not lying, folks. Well, we have an awesome Wednesday to you, Jamal and Sancha, says Suzanne Ingham, and she says, you like today. Great colors in the background. Christmas is always great. We hope so. We hope it keeps people in a jolly mood. Well, greetings, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as we welcome our friend Nikki Fagan from Skyport. We're discussing this year's Magic Mile. And Sancha, is Mad Dog? Oh, sorry. Is your son doing the Magic Mile?
My son Maddox has never run the Magic Mile, and we were hoping for him to do it this year, but they have a football tournament this year.
Man.
So, yeah, every year the Magic Mile falls on his birthday party. So this year we're doing the birthday party on a Sunday, and we'll see. We'll
All
see.
right. Well, we have Nikki coming on, see if she can do some negotiating with the football club and all. You know, she's a business woman, so we'll see what we can make happen. The Daily Players music today. I have faith in Sancho this week. I have faith. I do, and I know there's no pressure. I'm not saying she's got this, because at the end of the day, Sancho will get this right.
Well, last week we thought that it was easy, and I learned that Rihanna's name is Robin Fenty.
Yeah. She didn't know Rihanna's last name, folks. I thought everybody, not last name, first name. Sorry, she didn't know Rihanna's name, and so this week we've taken it up a notch, and I am quite confident that my sister opposite me will not let us down. How's that?
Okay, we'll see. I love so.
Okay. Folks, please don't forget to subscribe. I know some of you were complaining you didn't get the email this past weekend to sign up for your what's it, mailboxes account, which is on the house for 2 years. If you use our link, go to the Daily Hour page on mailboxes. If you need the link, we can share it again, but we're helping you also in that. You saw that Bacardi's Black Vendor Market happening this Friday, 4:30 to 7:30. Make sure you're there. Support the Black entrepreneurs that will be on the lawn. Props to Bacardi representing the full Black History Month. And also 40% off. You have a few days left to go take advantage of the products, cola products at BAC Group. So make sure you check that out. If you would have been, subscribed to our website, you would know about all this. I'm just saying. But anyway, follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Oh, we've got a conversation to have. We got a conversation. Oh, I've got a joke for you all today. Don't worry. I've got a joke.
I see you were gonna miss that.
I'm not gonna do it right now, but I have a joke for you. Yeah, I have a joke. Morning, Farah Palacio. She says, I do like this purple saddle. Yeah, the purple lights in front, I'm shining back, and then I'm trying a little something. We appreciate you recognizing. And we've got Charles H. Jeffs II. He says, I want to know if they gave the premier a heads up. Well, he likes a heads up. He's the only person who comes on this show and wants to know what we're going to ask, right? Which is why he doesn't get an invite anymore. But anyway, if you're telling the truth, you ain't got nothing to worry about. Farah Palacio says, exactly, Sancho, we don't do productions that look like a very straightforward film set up. All right, let's get into today's conversation. So, folks, speaking of the president of the chamber, Mariko Thomas, he's very active. I won't say social media. Is Facebook still considered social media? Or like the old folks home? It's like an old folks home at this point. But anyway.
Love it.
I'm old, so I go on there. But Facebook has these groups called Majors List. What is it? Majors List, whatever it's called, and it has like people's lists and these different lists. It even has a bad parking group. You've ever been on there, Sancha?
I hope not. But sometimes I look and I see and I'm like, ooh.
I'm probably sure. A couple of my friends have been, caught out on there and has lost their jobs, but that's not the topic today. So on these lists, Mariko Thomas is very active in responding, and people debate whether he should respond or not. And we're not going to discuss that either. I think it's important for us, especially in a small community, right, to understand that there are ways to do things. Not necessarily the right or wrong, but probably a better way or the best way, right? Question of the morning. Now, again, the one I saw regarding the steak and take, and this young lady was criticizing the steak and take. What is a steak and take? Like a steak-em?
You've never had a steak and take?
No, I don't eat it.
What? So, you know what? Before you leave, we're going to have a vegetarian steak and steak.
Oh, they have vegetarian one?
Yes, they do. If you go to the ABC food restaurant,
Oh, okay.
they have them. That's the only way I kind of have an idea of what it tastes like.
Uh,
Um, but every Muslim bakery back in the day, you had steak and takes and fish boats.
See, I remember the fish boats.
Yes, and steak and take. They were huge. So I know Shabazz up in Somerset,
Mhm.
from what I understand, had the best. So I would take the steak sauce and put it on my fish boat.
Okay.
There we go. They're
Hey,
amazing.
don't criticize me. Tell you talking about seriously, Jay. Steak and shakes of the Jet. Man, I didn't. Well, look, okay. Sancho's about to help me find out. All right. So I'm sorry, I'm going all off topic. I just need clarification. So young lady criticized the steak and take, and she went on about the sauce being separate and whatever, blah, blah. And Mr. Thomas came and broke it down. But it's something he said, and I don't, I say this to clients, advertisers, sponsors of this show, right? Please don't be offended, but if you are, I hope you understand. This show in particular is not for everybody. Actually, it was Nikki Fagan when she came on with Xena. They were doing they were talking about their business. We were 2 months in doing this show, and I remember her saying she's not for everybody, right? This show is not for everyone. This show, and this is no disrespect, because you all may love some radio talk shows or whatnot, but we are the Burberry. We are the Versace of talk. This is not Express or H&M. We're having high-level conversations with a high-level audience in hopes that we're solving community problems. We're not messy. I know you all like to say, Jamel's contract. That's not what we do. We're here to have conversations that move our community forward. We're not here to talk all day, despite how much I may do it. We're here to engage you. Mr. Thomas ended it by basically saying, maybe it's just not for you. Maybe it's not just for you. And I think when we go and we write these complaints, we kind of think that every business exists just for us. It doesn't. No matter how much you've supported that business or how much you like it, you are one person. And we've got to get out of this space, this entitlement, to think that things exist solely for our existence. So that said, question of the morning. Sancha has much more to add. Sorry. What's the best way
I'm taking it all in.
What's the best way for consumers to handle a bad experience? But before we answer that, I want to know, because I'm curious to know Sancha's answer as well. But audience, have you ever written an online review of a business? Have you ever written an online review of a business?
You want my answer?
Oh, absolutely. Because something tells me you've never done it.
Never. I have never written I will be the one. I give you the stars and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Give you your 5 stars, your 3 stars. I do all of that. If I've had a really good experience, I do say to myself, I need to go back and write my good experience. But if I have a bad experience, I would never write it publicly. I always wonder, when someone writes a bad review publicly, what are they trying to get out of it?
Their intent.
Like, what is your intention behind this review? Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, if you do want the business to do better, mm-hmm. you will go and have a conversation with management. Mm-hmm. Now, I get, if you have talked to management, you've gone, like, I've seen situations where the person has gone to management, they've tried to rectify the situation, and then they use it as a last resort. Mm-hmm. I get that. But your initial reaction to come to social media to like bash a business, I never understand it. Yeah. I can kind of go on our experience. I remember one time, I think I talked to you about it. We had a bad review at Nail Bar. Mm-hmm. And this lady wrote like a dissertation on Marge's List. And this is where, at the end of the day, you have to look at it. Marge's List can work for you or against you, right? Mm-hmm. Because we have a really good track record. So when she went onto Marge's List and she wrote this horrible review about us, everybody that was there was like, well, why don't you talk to management? Because like, they're pretty good at rectifying any issues that you have. And then you had so many people that were like, this doesn't sound like Nail Bar. Like, we have really good experiences there. But once we did our research and try to figure out who it was, and we never had anyone that had come to Nail Bar with that situation, like that got those services. And so I always wonder, what do you want as for the outcome? Like end result, what are you looking for?
Yeah. Sanch, as Teo said, what Sancha said. And Zena said, love Mariko's response. There's a difference between constructive. Well, what I'll say is, I've written online reviews basically when people have asked me to. Apartment complex, hey, please write a review, right? My lawyer, please write a review. Forgive me for what I'm about to say, because we love reviews. We should be encouraging people to write reviews. I don't find the time to write reviews. Yeah. Have I been angry at people? Absolutely. I'm going to use Bermuda. I think they do a great job of responding. People have been upset with Bermuda. New airline, right? I'm like, hold on. If you've traveled before, you've been delayed. If you've traveled before, you've had experience with mechanical issues on a plane. They weren't even 6 months in at this time. But the first thing you do is you go to Magic's list and you start saying stuff. No, maybe you feel, I'm going to play devil's advocate. Maybe people feel if I go online, now I'll keep in mind, I'll use Delta, for instance, right? Someone told me, if you want to get the attention of a business in the US, tweet them. Now, I have done that. I had an issue with Delta. I tweeted them. My issue got solved just like that. So I know that does it. You get their attention. Amazon, I had a situation. They wrote me, because Amazon, every purchase, they asked you to write a review. I said, well, I kind of had didn't arrive in tip-top situation. They said, oh, we'll send you another one. Then they asked, oh, can you change your review? I'm like, my review's not bad. But it wasn't bad, but it insinuated there was an issue with my package. All of that to say this, Sancha. The question you asked, what is the intent?
Exactly.
But I want to add something before we go to the audience. And this is crucial for a small community like Bermuda. Be careful who you're criticizing. And I'm just going to name some of the companies we work with because it's easy. But let's use the BAC, Medical House, Lindo's, or People's. One bad review on social media could cost you your career, because you never know in a small community when you may need to go and apply for a job at one of these places. I want us to keep that in mind, because I think we get on these lists. Rather you use what they call their pseudonyms, what they call those names where people are anonymous. You know what I mean? It's dangerous. One last part on it. Small community. Mr. Thomas has got numerous restaurants. A bad review of one can harm the others. The amount of jobs lost if that happens. Nail bar. Someone writes one bad review. People decide, you know what? I'm going to Mal Bar. That's Jamal's bar. Right? But my point is, I don't think our community can afford it. And there's a better way. Reach out to management. You don't get a response, make time to go by and see them. Sancha seems friendly.
But I feel like you've raised a good point. And my mom kind of messaged me and said the same thing. I think that people tend to give overseas, or I think it's a better. I think if you're looking at an overseas, like, kind of giant, like if we're talking about Amazon or, I feel like we have to leave those online reviews in order to kind of get a response for it, because you're never going to pick up the phone and be able to call somebody. But as you said, we live in a small community. Right. We are in a position, whereas I know I'm there every day. Mm-hmm. You leave your number. I had someone last week. can you get Sandra to call me? I called her. She told me her experience, what she felt like we needed to change, and we're on it, right? So we're in such a small community that we can talk to management face to face. You can talk to the owners. You can, give your constructive criticism and if you don't feel comfortable, send an email. If you don't want to do that face to face, send an email.
But I must add this because I know some people out there calling me a hypocrite. I do daily reviews of our government, and that does not count. So I don't need you all be out there. Well, he criticize online. No, I don't think I criticize the government. I think we have community conversations that can help them do a better job. But I agree with you, Sanchez. It's a big difference between, and I hope that's we're taking something from that small community versus a place like the United States where it's harder to get someone, which is why the tweet worked. Audience, what do you think is the best way for consumers to handle, I guess, a bad experience? Like, what do you think is the best way for consumers in Bermuda to do that? Let's go to the audience, see what they're saying. We've got Farah Palacio says, no, she's hasn't written a bad review. She said, I would only write a review after dealing with management and it went sour. Zena Edwards says, constructive feedback, a genuine issue. Yes, unhinged, malicious, temper tantrum, big no. And I think that's what we see most, right? That's what we see most. But let's figure out some solutions, Wadeen. What are some solutions? How can we, in a small community like Bermuda, right? It's scary going into business, consumer direct business, right? Sancha, like you just never know who's going to take issue, who's going to find about anything that could, and it doesn't have to be genuine. It doesn't have to be real. It could be, I don't like the owner of this business, so I'm going to find something wrong with it. And once a post, look, we know how social media works. People jump on stuff.
Yeah.
People like jump on and it's like, yeah, that person said this. Taylor Dill says, I think it's a sign of our growing Americanization. Oh, don't tell me that, my goodness. That is the idea that customers not only always right, which is nuts. Thank you. It is nuts because they're not. But that customer knows more about how the business works than the people running it. We've spoken about this here. But I agree. I remember being a child and saying the customer's not always right. That's ridiculous. But that American thing is as bad as the American nightmare. I mean, or dream as they call it. But no, that's ridiculous. And in customer service, do you agree with that, Sandra? The customer's always right?
I don't think that the customer is always right, but I do think that we have an obligation to listen to their concern and almost from where I stand, I take it as a teachable moment. It's like I totally understand where you're coming from and I see your point of view and I can understand why you feel the way that you feel. But I also need you to take into consideration that XYZ is why ABC happened, if that makes sense.
No,
right?
I got you.
I think that a lot of times people aren't thinking from a business standpoint. They want what they want, but they're not thinking, even when we start talking about prices and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
When people start complaining about, oh, this business charges this amount of money, like, are you taking into account all of the things that they have to pay? Are you taking into account the social insurance, the payroll tax, the rent, the electricity, the health insurance, all of these things? And yes, when you have like these small businesses that show up at vendors markets, I'm happy for them, but they are not paying all of the taxes.
Yep.
A business is paying, right? So they can offer a different experience.
And that's something that I think I say it all the time on the show is like, businesses are not the big bad evil people all out trying to get you. Like they have other bills to pay. Like there's not just like payroll or salary. Let's go back to Cherie Dill says in the comments, when overseas, I depend on reviews as I have nothing else to go off of. So I appreciate both the positive and critical reviews, but I also review them with the lens that one bad experience isn't reflective of all experiences. Cherie, I actually got into that living in the US over the last probably 7 years. I used reviews. Now, I never read them, but when it came to purchasing, like, let's use all the equipment to do the show. I mean, I started going a bit deeper. So not just I would read a bad review and try to understand why it happened. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not technically inclined, so I have to read a bit more than most people to try to understand stuff. What I realized is that a lot of the complaints were user error. if that makes sense. So how we perceive reviews is also important on our part, right? Sancho, don't tell me, but like I know you said on this show before, you don't do something at Nail Bar that's really popular.
But we don't do a full list.
Right. So some person could write a review. Oh, they don't even do that, whatever. And then now you as a person, you're looking for somewhere to get your nails done, and you're like, okay, well, they don't even do that. How are they a real, nail salon or whatnot? But you break it down. Well, that doesn't impact me. This is what I'm looking for. This doesn't that doesn't make them bad. That's just these are their services, right?
You know our customer, and you have to sometimes trust that you may not be the customer for this business, right? And I'm okay with that. You have to be okay with that too. You tried it, it didn't work out, and as long as the business is not being, horrible about it, you move on to the next thing.
We're going to talk about tipping soon too, because I think this is leading me to like the tipping thing. Charles H. Jeffs II says the only time I gave a review good or bad was when I had the worst Uber ride when I had to get out before I arrived at my destination. They responded immediately and said they suspended the driver. See, I didn't even give a bad review when I had one until she said something about me, said I didn't have my mask on during COVID, which wasn't true. But anyway.
Another thing for the business itself, it's also good to set up a platform whereas you send out, can you send us your review? The review comes directly to you, and someone doesn't have to go looking to put something on social media, right? Because you have that one-to-one contact.
That's actually a great idea. Like if it's like those trucks. I don't know if they have them in Bermuda, but in the US, there's trucks with, if you'd like to report our driver or something about our driver, call this number 1-800 da da da. I think that's helpful. We've got a guest today. We've got the Magic Mile we're talking about. No, I am not running it, folks. Nope, I am not getting beat by a 5-year-old. I jog. I jog alone when no one's watching at 5 a.m. I don't jog in Bermuda because there's hills in Bermuda. Florida, it's flat. So don't ask me about the Magic Mile. Oh yeah, I do flat. Florida's flat. Yeah. You can see my route like when I share it or whatnot, but you're not going to see me out there. I run.
How have you been working out since you've been here?
Oh, I haven't. I've been lazy. It's raining. Yeah, it's raining.
You don't run in the rain?
I don't. The elements play a role. Yeah. Don't judge. You all. Why do I feel like the audience is judging me? Anyway, you know what? Let's bring Teo in. We've got a joke for you. We got to judge him. Let's bring Teo in for news break. And we've got Nikki Fagan coming from Skyport. We're talking about the Magic Mile. Stick with us because Teo is a bit interesting. He's an interesting fella. Teo, are you with us? Are you there? Hello? Anybody there?
He's frozen down there.
Maybe that's in his best interest right now. I'm thinking, yeah, he's gonna probably come back in a bit, but you all will see why I think he's one interesting fella. You know what though? Let's take a quick commercial break. Well, he's gonna come back in. I want. Let's take this quick break, and then we'll come back with Teo. But he's quite interesting, and that's my review of Teo today.
Let's face it, life can be a little wild, but shopping doesn't have to be. I choose People's, so that whether it's a prescription that needs to be filled, a toy for my little terror, or a gift for a new addition to the family, we'll see about that. Everything's available in one convenient location. Some call it People's. I call it my one-stop shop in the city. People's, we're here for you.
Welcome to the new bulk store, Lindo's Next Level.
Alrighty, welcome back. Thanks again to the BAC group. Madicals, Linders, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring we can do this. We're going to bring Teo Dill in for the Daily Hour News. Let's try this intro again and bring this interesting fella in. Hey.
Morning.
Hey.
Good to see you.
Hey, Teo. Sandra. Don't he look like Ray Charles's Stevie Wonder kind of nephew?
He belongs in somebody's studio at 3 o'clock in the morning.
And the mic's right there, so Tay.
Yeah, I don't know if the head bob is.
Yeah, you tried to look Ray Charles there.
No, that's a Stevie impression, not Ray.
I'm saying I watched Ray Charles in my mind, but Tay, can you see us?
And this red light.
Well, I have an explanation.
We want to hear it. Yeah.
Okay, so Jane knows this. I don't know if Sandra does. I have a medical condition called occipital neuralgia. Basically means I have a constant tension headache since 2011, and when it gets bad, particularly when air pressure changes because of the weather, it's just uncomfortable. It's like a migraine that can spike to the point where I got to go to the hospital, get Novocaine injected in the back of my neck.
Oh,
Why? I hope so. That's why I'm being this precise.
Why did you have to say that part? What could you not let me make fun of you and then later, like a week later, tell people this? No, I feel like I can't even.
No, it's okay. It is ridiculous. So anyway, when it gets like this, I got to reduce the amount of bright light. It's not bad, but it feels like it could get bad later today. So I'm trying to do what I can to fulfill my obligations to the show and to the crew and to the audience, but also, protect myself.
We appreciate you, Charles E. Wonder. We do, bro. We do. Sancha, when is the next show? Because asked Jesse if he needed some backup or an opener or something. I'm just saying, we got somebody. The least he could do is head bob. The least. Yeah, he could do something. I'm gonna stop making fun of you because you got news to do, and I don't want the audience to think that I'm taking advantage of her. Yeah,
of a disabled person. Honestly, I shouldn't even laugh at that. That's not cool.
Come on, Tate. I've done enough. What you got today?
All right. Well, this is to start with a very serious story. Fentanyl-laced heroin is here in Bermuda and has left 3 people in hospital recovering from suspected overdoses. This from the BPS in a recent advisory, which underlined that even tiny doses of this substance, like micrograms, can cause serious adverse effects, particularly when it's combined with other drugs, most especially other opioids like heroin. In fact, fentanyl is about 100 times stronger than morphine and 50 times stronger than heroin. Here's a short visual aid to help demonstrate what this stuff can do and why it is so very important to stay away from it.
11 newly released video showing the disturbing result of a mass opioid overdose that left a man dead. This video of a mass collapse from 2019. Prosecutors say Perry Davis gave 3 people what they thought was cocaine, but it was actually mixed with fentanyl. Soon after ingesting the substance, a woman is seen here collapsing. Moments later, a man can be seen falling to the ground. As first responders arrive, a 3rd victim then collapses. Narcan was administered to all 3, but only 2 could be revived. 25-year-old Joshua Chambers died. Davis was sentenced to 20 years in prison.
Wow.
Yeah, like this stuff, it literally is like elephant tranquilizer. Like you just happen to be in a place where somebody was using it. There have been instances where just that kind of incidental contact has ended people's lives. So fentanyl is serious, and people gonna do what they're gonna do. But if you're in that market, please be careful.
Sorry, you said this is in Bermuda now or the prison? I'm making up the prison.
Bermuda. It's
Bermuda.
Been a little while, and it's scary because obviously people have addictions. They do what they do, but when you are being given something unknowingly, I hope that at some point they're able to find whoever is selling these illicit drugs. And I mean it's horrible. It's dangerous. It's so dangerous. Like many lives because of this.
Yeah, like all of these drugs are necessarily dangerous, but this stuff is like a nuclear weapon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense. So, if you're in that market, please be especially careful for the next little while at least. Now, in other unrelated news, thankfully, Chris Gauntlet is the OBA's adopted candidate for Sands South Central Constituency 34, where he's going to be facing off against PLP Minister of Health, Kim Wilson, in the next. Having taken over Blue Water Divers and water sports over 10 years ago. Mr. Gauntlet said in a statement that we've forgotten how to collaborate for a collectively beneficial outcome, referencing recent saying, quote, "It may not be possible to find a perfect answer to a problem, but benefiting everyone should still be the goal." The Bermuda College will be saving more than 50 grand a month in energy costs.
I think we're losing.
That is, I know he was moving on, but that's my constituency. And I think I told you before, the last election within that in my constituency, the OBA leader never came and had a conversation with me.
What constituency is that? Who
34.
Who's the person?
Kim Wilson.
That's what I guessed last night. I said probably Kim Wilson. Okay.
Yeah. So I'm all conversation. I want to hear the platform. I was a little upset that when they did the OBA, did their their evenings. What was it, last week or week before last? In Somerset, they did a Friday night, and I just could not make it. But I keep hearing that the platform that they're presenting is a really good one. So I need to hear.
Okay.
What is this platform? What are we doing?
Yeah, I think Tay is back. Let's see. Tay, you back? Yeah, he's on mute. He's having some challenges.
Yeah, I'm back. I'm sorry. I'm looking at my speedtest.net right now. It's up over 80 megabytes per second. So I genuinely don't get what's going on. No. I apologize. But I think it cut out at the beginning of the Mr. Chris Gauntlet story. So he's got a really deep resume when it comes to scuba-based tourism, having taken over Blue Water Divers and water sports over 10 years ago. Now, he said in a statement that we've forgotten how to collaborate for a collectively beneficial outcome, referencing recent criticisms from government that the OBA is trying to be all things to all people, saying, quote, "It may not be possible to find a perfect answer to a problem, but benefiting everyone should still be the goal." Now, the Bermuda College is going to be saving more than 50 grand a month in energy costs due to the new first phase installation of a solar energy system facilitated by the Bermuda College Foundation. Now, the newly installed 123.2 kilowatt solar energy system was deployed in partnership with B Solar. As you can see on the screen, if you visit the campus, you can see the panels on the roofs of West Hall and Hallett Hall. Now, this is the really cool detail about this. It's anticipated that the newly installed solar system will pay for itself within 6.2 years, ultimately saving the college an estimated $1.5 million over its 30-year lifespan and preventing the consumption of nearly 6,000 barrels of oil and prevention of more than 3,000 metric tons of carbon dioxide from entering the atmosphere. Now, if you have left your car on public parkland, you better come get it before the Department of Parks destroys it. The Parks rep shared a public notice that the impounded vehicles must be claimed by March 9th. Otherwise, they're getting crushed. Interestingly, half of the abandoned vehicles are Opals for some reason. I don't know if that's anything other than just a weird coincidence or a suggestion that the brand isn't terribly reliable. I mean, no shade to Opal owners. It was just weird. Like of the 6 that they listed, they were Opals. So
you don't have an Opal, do you, Sandra? You're on mute. You don't have an Opal, do you, Sandra?
No, but I don't think do they still sell Opals in Bermuda? That's probably why they haven't sold Opals. Were really good cars. Like they lasted a very long time.
I don't know what an Opal is.
Yeah, they don't sell Opals in Bermuda. Correct me, audience, if I'm wrong. They don't sell Opals in Bermuda.
What else you got, Tay?
All right. Now, finally, this piece of news might be pretty surprising. It turns out that Gen Z lacks digital skills. Now, this is coming from UK Tech Secretary Michelle Donnellan as part of a push to attract younger workers to tech jobs. The Brits are offering free boot camps that give a whole bunch of training in that area, as explained here.
Attract more Gen Z workers to the tech world. Donnelly is championing free boot camps offering training in cybersecurity, cloud computing, and coding, the essentials for thriving in a digital age. She stresses that as technology integrates further into our lives, digital skills are becoming essential across all sectors.
Now, that may sound weird to us, right? Considering kids are born with smartphones and tablets nowadays. However, there is, I think, an explanation. As a barely millennial, like old guy, this kind of fits to me, since people in their 30s and up grew up having to fix their computers, figure out what was wrong, how to understand problems with the tech, which were way more regular back in the day. Like your computer would crash all the time, and it was a normal thing. Nowadays, everything is plug and play, right? Like it just kind of works. So the kids don't know how stuff works under the hood. So I think this is a broadly really good idea that'll hopefully get picked up here in Bermuda. Not just codings, but the basics for computer use, like what's an SSD, how to set your monitor's refresh rate, reinstalling Windows, dumping drivers, all that stuff. Well, like this is stuff that the kids aren't necessarily hip to.
Well, I'll tell you, I think, one of my friends says all the time, children know how to use the devices, but they don't know how to make money on the devices. I think that goes back to websites. When I first went to college, the only way you could build a website is if you knew coding. No, you don't know one thing about coding to actually build a website. Everything's there for you. So that's an interesting, very interesting. Well, how's the weather looking today?
Well, that patch of low pressure and the associated frontal boundary that's been keeping things wet for the last little while, it should keep the tank rain falling for at least the next 48 hours. Things should start to clear up by Friday, but between now and then, do not leave your home without your umbrella. Otherwise, you're going to be vaxxed.
Sandra, you come pick me up after the show?
We had this conversation right before. It's like, oh, I'm over this rain. I am so over it.
It's like we live in a concrete rainforest, as I said yesterday. And we got a days of the year, Sandra. Anything cool?
We do. Sorry, guys.
Yesterday it was pet day and the dog. Not a dog.
Actually, instead of a day of the year, we have a week. Today is Cancer Prevention Week. Right? We need to look at doing all of the things to prevent these things. Every Monday I say to myself, this week I'm not going to do sugar, dairy, and fried foods. And then I get to like Wednesday and I'm like, here I am eating a cookie, something. So it is Cancer Prevention Week. So basically change the habits, that we have that can create these illnesses.
Well, it will start if people serve fruit for breakfast. But anyway, Tay, we'll see you on Friday.
Sounds good, bro. Good to see y'all. See you in a couple days.
All righty, Tail deal, folks. Sanj, let's just jump right into it. We've got Nikki Fagan. I just hope Nikki ain't got nowhere to go because Nikki
is Nikki's like one of my favorite people, right?
Oh, she claims you? I mean, not like that, but
Nikki and I were just talking last night.
Oh well. She don't answer my WhatsApp, so it's just like you. None of you do. But anyway, I said it publicly. Anyway, let's bring Nikki in. We've got a great conversation. Magic Mile, folks, coming up very soon. Of course, I never, did it when I was young. It was called something else. I'm not going to give people love, but I never did it. And my mother actually put me in a lot of this stuff, but I've always watched it. It looks like one of the most fun activities children can be in. Let's give Nikki a warm TBA welcome, like we know how. Cheer for her like you would Sandra. All right, calm down. You won't cheer for Sandra like that. Okay, I'm sorry.
Morning, guys.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm good. I wanted to be up in that conversation you was having earlier. Stay focused, though. I'm staying focused.
You sure you don't want to, you don't have anything to say about it? I mean,
nothing.
I'm not going to do that.
I will say that at Skyport, we respond to feedback within 48 hours.
Well, okay. Let me remember that. Oh, excuse me, my flight was delayed by 2 minutes. Yeah, that's the kind of complaint you probably get. But Nikki, thank you so much for making time for us. And again, we've got a lot to talk about. So if we go over time, hopefully you have nowhere to go. But some people just won't know what the Skyport Magic Mile is. Just for those who don't know, give a little background on what happens, what it is, and some details.
Well, let's go back far. So Pacers is who powers the Magic Mile. Pacers is in their 43rd year. And this event is in its 27th year. And then Skyport has been supporting it this is our 6th year. And we supported it through the pandemic, even though, there were no races. We still, we're a proud sponsor of Pacers. Mm-hmm. So the mile itself is actually called a magic mile because, as the Pacers team would tell you, it's not quite a mile. We wouldn't put the little 4-year-olds through that. So yeah, it's an amazing, it's iconic at this point event, 27 years of consistency. And the children's age range is about 4 to about 14, 15.
Okay. So why is, you said it's Pacers have been doing it. Why is it an initiative that Skyport has chosen to attach itself to?
So Skyport does community initiatives and community givings specifically around sports and STEAM. We support the community every year to the tune of about $100,000 or more a year. And so we connected with Pacers because it's an iconic organization, right? One of the things that we want to ensure happens this year. Let me go back a little bit. Long time ago in Bethlehem, I lived in Kingston, Jamaica. And when I lived in Kingston, Jamaica, track events are not for the faint-hearted. This is not simply come watch a run and go home. This is an all-day, 3-day entertainment and food and fun and community. And so when I came on board with Skyport had started to evolve the Skyport Magic Mile into more than a running event. Now we are continuing to evolve it, continuing to get bigger. And so we want you to come for the races, but we want you to stay all day. Come hang out with us all day. And so last year, the last people left at about 5:30. So it has definitely evolved. And that's the exciting part, that it continues to get bigger and bigger.
Quick question from the audience first, Angela. Audience, have you or any of your children or nephews, godchildren participated in the Magic Mile? Just want to get a gauge from the audience. Has anyone been involved in the Magic Mile previously? Yes, I'm sorry.
So firstly, welcome, Nikki. I love the fact Pacers, anybody that knows Pacers, Cal Simons, I remember I was at Hedger Primary School and then my mom transferred me to West End. And I thought I was a sprinter. And Mr. Simons was like, no, you were going to run cross country. And I became a long distance runner because of Mr. Simons. Like, I remember when I went to BHS, I was on the cross country team every single year because he put in, he's the truth. So I am very happy, he's been around this long, and anyone that knows him knows that he's dedicated and committed to this cause. So we said that the age groups that are participating are how young?
They start all the way from 4. I mean, you should see these little chubby little knees come across the track.
I can beat a 4-year-old.
You might. I don't know. They were pretty aggressive last year. I don't know.
Jamal, you should probably go in the older age groups. They are serious. When you put them on the line, they're like, oh, I'm doing this.
I'm pulling a hamstring if they're beating me. It's something happening.
And Nikki, what you said about, it being an all day affair. I remember last year, Jamal, I was having Maddox's birthday party. And I said to one of my friends, I was like, maybe we should just take the party to the Magic Mile because they had like a kids area. And it was intense, right? What do you have this year? Do you have a children's area? And
yeah, so this year we ton up. Okay, we did more. So last year we had the Security Associates Kids Village. We have multiplied that area. We have also invited our friends from OneCom, and so they will now have the OneCom Family Zone. We've invited our friends from Orange Bay Company. We now have a youth entrepreneur and vendor space as well. Listen, it's all the things. It's bigger. It's amazing. So we are super excited. Bigger children's areas, more things to do, youth vendors to interact with, plus the races, plus entertainment. We're doing it big.
Nice.
Hey, I might as well bring Maddox's birthday party.
No, that's no too late. I'm dropping my child off at Maddox's birthday party.
No, but I love it that we found a way to incorporate more than just running, right? And then the kids at this young age, they get to see all the different vendors, all the different so I think it's a really cool way to implement all of those things. But question, how many kids did you have in participation last year? I want the audience to get an idea of how big this is.
This is huge, y'all. Okay, so last year's event surpassed the previous year's numbers by 100. So we had 905. And I am hoping this year to get up to 1,000 is what I'm looking for, right? 1,000 entrants. And let me tell you why it matters. It matters not just because I am target driven, which I am. It matters not just because of that. It matters because every entrant fee goes towards Pacers Track Club. And so this is a significant fundraising event, the most significant for Pacers for the entire year, right? So this is not just a fun activity. This is a fundraiser. So we want you to come. We want you to get out there. My mantra is that 2 quotes drive me. First is dream until it's uncomfortable. And then the second is leave anything that you're involved in a better place than you found it. And so, it's hard to improve something that's already iconic, but we're trying because we want to make sure that this is a major fundraising event for Pacers. Pacers travels all year round. And one of the people that will be, one of our sponsors who will be assisting with the continued travel is Bermuda Air. Bermuda Air is going to be, they are also one of the sponsors. And so they're going to be helping Pacers to get where they need to get when they need to get to track meets. So my mission this year, under direction from President Adderley at Skyport, was to make this event a really impactful event, not just for the people and the community who are coming and the participants, but for Pacers itself, to ensure that they are walking away with, the funds that they need to keep their organization going all year.
That's awesome. My next question, you kind of answered it already, but I kind of need visuals, because when I was thinking of signing Maddox up, I'm like, he's going to be really upset if I make him run a mile.
So I think actually Maddox's age group, I think they do a full lap. Actually, I think they're on 2 laps. Actually, I think Maddox's age group is on 2 laps now, because he would be in the 7 year. He would be in the 7 year, and I think they're fully on 2 laps.
Okay.
So how long is 2 laps? Is that a mile?
I don't know if it's a mile. I don't know if that's the full mile.
No, it's not.
We can't have, you can't have my nephew run the full mile. He's just not there yet,
He's so upset.
But listen, I've seen Maddox run though. Have y'all seen? Come on now, I've seen Maddox run.
So there's going to be different, so for people my age, I wouldn't have to run a full mile.
Well, for people your age, if you're out there on the track, somebody's going to come in and pull you off the track, because you shouldn't be out there if you're your age. However, for the older children, they are doing multiple laps on there. And they've had different arrangements for this race. Like previously, the older children were doing full miles. They were going outside the stadium around the Arboretum and coming back. But we have now contained it fully. It works better to be fully contained at National Stadium. And so some of those children are doing actual miles, and they're doing multiple laps around the track.
What I like about this?
Go ahead.
Yes, Anshu.
I've just looked it up because I feel like our audience need to get a
the real tough.
At 4 and 5 years old, they're doing a quarter of a mile. 6 and 7 years old, they're doing a half mile. So they're not doing a full mile until they get 10, 11. I feel like they should be able to handle a mile at 10, 11. I feel like we can do that. What were you going to say, Jamal?
No, I was gonna say, I'm looking at this completely different. We've obviously an Olympic year. We've had Peter Brumby on yesterday, a sailor. I know we look at the Carifta Games as a big thing, but I see so many young children who run this race and they go on to actually turn running into something that benefits them. And I wonder if Skyport, if that's something that obviously it's supposed to be a fun thing, just community and raise money, but that's something I think we should take great pride in, like children who find this is of interest to them and they utilize it to, grow and become maybe the next Trey Houston or, whoever, Flora Duffy, right? We just never know. But I think this is a great thing and it could be a great start for so many young people.
Absolutely. Between the Magic Mile and also Acorn, which is Skyport's parent company, they've sponsored in the past Carifta. Between Skyport and Acorn, they are fully invested in young athletes, fully. And so they make it, they put their money where their mouth is. And so year over year, we continue to increase our sponsorship. We continue to support not just with money, but with resources, with volunteers. Our entire company, volunteers that day or volunteers leading up to this is a huge event. Not just as a financial contribution, but far bigger. It's far more important to us. We understand, what our financial dollars are doing when it comes to this event.
Perfect. I'm laughing at Zena. Zena Edwards put a comment and she said 4 and 5-year-olds do 1 lap, 6 and 7-year-olds do half mile, 2 laps, 8 and 9 do 3/4 mile, 1,200 meters, and then 10 to 15 do 4 laps, which is a mile. And when I first saw that, I saw 45-year-olds, not 4 and 5. Don't mind me. I'm just.
He is really gonna get on that track.
That's my distance, I tell you.
You got excited.
I did.
So Nikki, are there any prizes for?
So the school that signs up the most every year, Pacers has been given awards for the school that signs up the most. And so there's an actual financial prize for whichever school signs up the most. There's a series of financial prizes. At the end of this whole thing, what Pacers walks away with is the ability to give scholarships to their athletes. In particular. So there are the medals that you get, absolutely. And then we have Bermuda Timing doing the timing system. So you'll be able to get a photo at the end with your child and have their kind of records. If you're grooming the next Usain Bolt, you'll be able to have a record of all of their runs and their times as well. So yeah.
And then lastly, can participants still sign up? And if so, how do they do so? When is the deadline?
Yes. Please sign up. Zena, you might have to put the actual last date in there because I know you're like the queen of all of my data. But yes, you can continue to sign up. This race is going to be on March the 2nd. So we're taking, I believe last year it was right up until 2 days before is when we shut down registration, but Zena can clarify that. And just in case the weather is doing what the weather has been doing, but I know it won't because I know the weather's going to be no, it's an amazing race. I'm going to behave myself. Just in case, February 20, the entry deadline, actually, I got it. It's the 29th. But just in case there's a rain date that's necessary, it will be on the 9th of March.
I'm going to correct this. I think I need to join the PR team.
You might need to.
All registrations will close Friday, March 1st at midnight.
Is it? Is that the truth?
That's what it says on the website.
All right.
You know what? Zena says, I like this. Pacers also used the event as a scouting event. I like that. That right there is top notch because again, some children, they may not be a part of programs. Parents may put them in because they just like to run. And who knows, Pacers may actually create someone who goes on, and I'm not saying to be the next Olympian necessarily, but they may be able to use running as their way into a career that they may one day love. She goes, we just answered that. Thank you, Emily Gildill. Zena Edwards says,
Oh, I didn't say that part. Sorry. It's racedayworld.com.
oh, racedayworld.com. Thank you. That's an international site.
Yes, it's a standard site that all of the running organizations are using.
Now, that's the site I usually go to when I'm thinking about running a half marathon, and then I just exit off my screen before I complete the application.
I was just gonna say it doesn't happen.
Yeah, it does happen.
But I'm gonna give, I always give these little nuggets of things that happen in my life when guests come on. So in this instance, Maddox and Logan are very good friends, and Logan is Nikki's daughter.
Oh, I'm sorry, Nikki. I knew that. That's my niece. I'm not mad, but that's my niece. Yeah.
Very good friends. So a few years ago, Logan decided that she was going to invite Maddox to a track and field club, right? Oh. And they did this like track and field club together. Logan didn't enjoy it too much, but Maddox was like overly serious about it. Like, Logan, I don't have time for this right now. I'm coming first in every race. And Logan was just kind of like, but Maddox.
Why is he so competitive? He must get that.
He is so competitive.
Where did he get that from?
But yes, Logan and Maddox love track and field now.
Okay. So I guess that's a question. Let's get personal. Logan will be participating?
Well, here's the thing. She initially was going to be participating, and then Maddox's party came up.
His party's on the Sunday now, so she can participate.
Ooh. So then, yes, she will be. She absolutely will be.
I sense best friends around here, folks. I sense, look, I'm not missing for a run. I'm not missing it. Jesse Seymour said that's my distance. I think he's talking about, I'm not taking Jesse serious. Jesse's out there running the Bermuda Day half marathon. I'm not even hearing him right now. Like, bro, come on. No, I will say this, folks. I will say this. If they had, this is my excuse for not participating. If they had, like, you know how they had the parents race, the uncles race or something, I would be there and participate. All right. So let me just say that. Maybe you guys can add something.
Next year.
You give me some pause for thought now, right?
I think that would be a great addition.
My big mouth did it again.
That is like the highlight of sports day. People don't even watch the kids. They wait for this uncle's
parent race
next year.
Mr. Photogenic will have to be banned if I participate.
Absolutely not.
No. You don't have to. I mean, my big mouth just did it again. Nikki, just remind people when it takes place and what they need to do to participate.
Okay, so you're going to head on over to racedayworld.com. You're going to sign your kids up for this race that takes place on March the 2nd. The race runs from about 12 to 4:30, the races. But, people hang out. They're there as early as 9:30, 10 o'clock. And last year, like I said, they didn't leave until around 5:30. The rain date, just in case the weather is weathering, it will be on March the 9th. And let me just do one more shout out real quick to our sponsors, because without these sponsors, we would not have been able to make this event even bigger this year. So we have OneCom for the Families In. We have SA for the Children's Village. We have Seoul Petroleum, who are our partners down at the airport. They are sponsoring the timing. We have Orange Bay Company, who is sponsoring the youth vendor market. We have Bermuda, who is sponsoring travel for the Pacers athletes. We have SAS, who's doing security. We have, of course, the BNAA. We have Nettle's Nectar, who is offering the refreshments after the kids come off the track. And I think I've gotten everyone.
You sure did. This is an awesome event. Again, unfortunately, I can't participate, folks. They discriminated against me, so you won't be seeing me on the track. But let's get behind the young people, cheer them on. The party's on the Sunday, so all of you that were going to use Maddox as an excuse,
it's true.
You can't do that now. You can't do that. But Nikki, thank you so much for what you and Skyport are doing. It's definitely more than just a place to travel to and from the island. We appreciate it. But I mean, I didn't even get to mention and congratulate you on the success of what you did leading up to the holidays with the different choirs and the like. That was just awesome. I mean, they were talking about it at family Christmas dinner. Like, it was just keep doing what you're doing and being what, you know, I always pick on Bacardi because they're so easy to do, but your organizations are proven that it's much more than giving $1 to charity, right? It's that stuff that's so early 2000s, 90s. It's about how you're empowering people and making moves to lift up our community. So thank you for what you do. I think Skyport is blessed and lucky to have you. And thank you to Zena also for always ensuring we have the info. But keep
my secret partner in crime.
Indeed. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much, guys. Have a great day.
As well. All right. Nikki Fagan, folks, Skyport. If you appreciated that conversation, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. They do a thing, man. I do it. I really do mean what I said. Like, they just do a thing. They're setting the standard, them companies like Bacardi. But we're gonna take a quick break. Come back, folks. If someone gets the answer before Sancha, they'll be eligible to win. Last week you all showed up. But please, if you haven't already, make sure you give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share this conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues. But do not go anywhere, because we are not gonna let Sancha live this down if she doesn't get this right.
Oh my goodness.
Hi there, welcome to Medical House. We're located at number 6 Bakery Lane. I can't wait to show you all of the great stuff that we carry. Come on inside, let's see. Let's kick it off in the footwear department. When it comes to footwear, we carry functional, comfortable, orthopedic, and waterproof shoes. We have construction shoes, golf shoes, shoes for walking, shoes for boating. We even have shoes for pickleball. We have shoes for everyone. With brands by Skechers, Atrax, Propay, Easy Street, Nursemates, Clogs, Avenger, Cherokee, Cat, Frog Talks, and DeWalt. The list goes on. Take a look at our workwear for construction workers and tradesmen. Durable, stretchable in all the right places, and plenty of options for tools and accessories. Pair with our wide range of tough and comfortable footwear. You can't go wrong. Long days, long shifts, you no longer have to endure comfortable underwear. Designed by nurses, we now offer premium undergarments by Swoop that are unique, fun, comfortable, and functional. The only underwear you'll ever want to wear. Who says high quality functional products can be stylish and comfortable at the same time? Speaking of stylish, we also have top quality running, walking, and workout apparel by Skechers in a variety of sizes for men and women. Cool, breathable, and dry. With our wide selection of Skechers footwear, you'll look great before, during, and after your workout. As you can see, Medical House really is a one-stop shop for everybody. We can't wait to see you.
You'll be surprised at everything we have to offer at our huge new retail and wholesale location on Bakery Lane.
All righty, welcome back to the Big Show. Thanks again to Nikki Fagan from Skyport for the conversation. Thanks again to the BAC group of companies, Medical House, Lindos, and People's Pharmacy. If you haven't already, please make sure you give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share this conversation with your friends, your family, your colleagues. It is time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Bermuda Trivia, now available at stores throughout Bermuda. Follow Bermuda Trivia on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok to find out why it's Bermuda's favorite trivia game. Sancha, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, Sandra, very easy question. I shouldn't say easy.
You said easy last week.
Yeah, okay. This is it. Sancha, you're into music. You love music. You put on some of the best productions this island has ever witnessed. Sancha, I think you may have had something to do with a show involving this artist. Sancha, who has won the most Grammys? I read your lips. Who'd you say?
Beyonce.
Say it again.
Beyonce. After Jay-Z gave that speech, no one will ever forget that Beyonce has won the most Grammys, but has never won Album of the Year.
Yeah. It's Charles. She got it. She beat you. I was warned. I said, we won't let her live it down. Beyonce has made history. She's made history. And it was last year, 2023. She became the artist with the most Grammy wins ever. All right. So, yes. I'm proud of you, Sancha.
Didn't let you down, Jamal.
No. I mean, I'm about to ask Jesse. Did he know? Did Jesse know Rihanna's real name?
I don't know.
I hope he knew Rihanna's real name. Like, I thought everybody knew that. I'm sorry.
Listen, normally he gets at me. Like one day I said out in public in a conversation with everyone that I wasn't a Whitney Houston fan. And he
You said that publicly?
I did. And he was like, Sancha, you cannot tell people, like, he was upset.
Hold on. No. I'm trying to send you a taste of music. So back when Whitney was popping, who were you? Well, you were for Madonna or something like that?
Probably Janet Jackson.
Oh, because the dance and stuff. Yeah, you seem like a dance. But Whitney had the pipes though, man. All right, we'll forgive her, folks. Sancha, let's wrap this up. Sancha and I's got to go breakfast. All right, so folks, we gotta leave early. So what final thoughts? I mean, customer. Yeah. Oh, she said Karen Simmons remembers you saying that on this show as well, and I was here, and I didn't.
Yeah, Karen was probably shocked that I said it. That's why she remembers it.
Unbelievable. She ain't wearing a Whitney Houston fan. Let's wrap it up. Customers, we talked about the best way to respond, and then obviously the conversation about the Magic Mile. What you got?
I think that in hindsight, I totally understand when we go onto websites, especially US companies, because this is the only way to kind of reach and leaving reviews, authentic, genuine reviews regarding your experience of customer service and product is great, so that people can kind of learn from it and they can decide whether this is something that they want for themselves. I also think that we have to be mindful that living in a small community such as Bermuda, we have access. We're lucky enough to still be able to pick up the phone and speak to someone. We're still able to have those conversations, and that's what makes life special here, right? And we need to utilize that and not try to bring a business down. Exhaust all avenues before you feel like you have to go to social media to say, hey, this is my bad experience. As far as the Magic Mile, I was actually talking to Jesse Maddox's dad last night. Like, how can he do both, right? Because I think it's such an awesome event for kids to experience. And like you said, then if you are looking to get into track and field, this is where it starts, right? It gives them opportunities to see different things that go on, and in this space, they can also see entrepreneurship. It's just so much that's going on, and I'm happy that Nikki has brought us into this space where it's a one-stop shop. I did want to correct that. I said that deadlines closed 12 o'clock midnight, March 1st. We've been corrected, and it's actually March 1st at 6 p.m.
Okay. Yeah. All righty. It was the 29th that's changed. Yes. I echo everything you said, and not to prolong it. I think that there's a way to do things. I think there's always a better way to do things as far as giving feedback. I want to do something during this show, folks. I want to hear your reviews. If you're tuned in right now, send an email to engage@thedailyhour.com and give us a review. It doesn't have to be in favor of us. Give us a review, and we'll share the reviews that you have of this show. We'll put them on our website. We'll put them on our social media. But let us have your reviews. Engage@thedailyhour.com.
But we have to say we don't want all good reviews. If it's things that we can work on, you have to tell us.
Yeah,
right?
we asked that in one of our surveys. What can we do to improve the show, right? So let us know what's working. Let us know what we can improve on. All right, and hopefully that means me being present less. But anyway, I say that because you're only going to get better if you get good feedback, right? If we're the same people we are, if Nail Bar is serving you the same today as they were 10 years ago when they opened, is that really benefiting the customer? Things have changed. There was a time where when I was growing up, there were no designs on nails, and it was different, right? There was a time when men didn't necessarily go and get their feet done. Things change in industries, right? Now you can go to a spa and get wine while there's different ways. There's added components, right? So I think it's important to feedback is one of the most important things for growth. But when you're angry, when you're mad in that time, in a small community, be extremely conscious of where you put or share your opinions and how you do it. Think of the consequences, not just for yourself, but the entire economy. If certain businesses shut down, what that may mean for you. Government's a different story. But anyway, as far as the Magic Mile, I love the idea. I loved what Zena said, that Paces actually does sculpt. That's really cool, right? Because they may see something in a child that a parent doesn't necessarily see, right? Most parents may not be into running. They just want their children to be active. So my hope is that the children participate, have fun above all. It's one of the most fun activities. But also for those who may not be in extracurricular activities and may need assistance getting to a certain level, that Paces recognizes talent and helps them utilize their skills to become better in whatever it is they want to do in life. Sancha, do you have any daily inspiration for us?
I do. Every great dream begins with the dreamer. Always remember, you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach for the stars to change the world. And that's Harriet Tubman.
I like that one. Sounds like a woman who left those behind who didn't. Well, let's leave that alone. Not that quote today. Thank you so much for that, Sancha. All right, folks, please don't forget to subscribe on our website, thedailyhour.com, so you're not left out with all that our partners are helping you do. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Medical House Lindos, and People's Pharmacy for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow, and you don't want to miss tomorrow's conversation. Yeah, it's one of those. She's Sancha Durham. I'm Jamel Hartman. Please make it a safe and a great day. Until then, we are out. Peace.